When I pressed play on that recording, her lawyer ran out of the courtroom and the judge's face went white. I never imagined that pressing play would change everything, not just the outcome of the trial, but the way I saw the woman I once loved and the justice system I had spent years believing in. My name is James Lockwood, a civil engineer from Surrey, and up until 2 years ago, I thought I had life figured out. I was engaged to Clara Merrick, beautiful, brilliant, a high-flying PR executive from a posh family in Hampstead. Everyone admired us, and to the outside world, we were the definition of a power couple. But beneath the polished dinners and champagne toasts, cracks had been forming. Clara was cold when the cameras were off, dismissive when I spoke about my dreams of starting a family, and disturbingly secretive about her past. Still, I ignored the warning signs until the night of the accident. It was supposed to be our engagement anniversary. I'd booked dinner at a candlelit restaurant in Soho, but Clara never showed. I called, texted, nothing. Then at 1:17 a.m., I got a call from the police. Clara had been involved in a hit and run. A cyclist was left in critical condition, and she had fled the scene. I rushed to the station, horrified. But by the time I arrived, she was already out bailed by a high-end solicitor from a firm in Mayfair. From that point on, things spiraled. Clara spun the story. She hadn't been driving. The car had been stolen. She had an alibi. And somehow her lawyers made the evidence disappear. CCTV footage was inconclusive. Witnesses were mistaken. The cyclist, a young teacher named Ravi Bhaskar, remained in a coma. And Clara, she hosted a lavish birthday party a week later, smiling for the tabloids like nothing had happened. I couldn't sleep, couldn't look at her. And when I confronted her, she didn't deny anything. She just said, "You don't understand the world I live in." That was the last time I saw her face to face. I broke off the engagement and moved out. But then came the lawsuit. Clara claimed I'd stolen £60,000 from our joint account before leaving, said I'd emotionally abused her, fabricated text messages, and dragged me into court. I was stunned. Bank statements showed the money was transferred to her sister's account, not mine. I'd never laid a hand on her, but somehow, her lawyers built a compelling case, and her reputation, curated, glowing, elite, held more weight than my ordinary life. I was losing. My own solicitor warned me. Unless we had a smoking gun, it was my word against hers. And she had money, media, and motive. That's when fate gave me a second chance in the form of an old iPhone. Months earlier, Clara had given away her spare phone to my little sister Mia when she needed a backup during GCSEs. It had sat unused in a drawer, wiped clean, or so we thought. But one rainy night, Mia tried to power it up, and to our shock, it still had data hidden in an unlabeled app. Messages, photos, voice memos. One file stood out, a 6-minute audio clip titled Room 212. When I played it, I felt the blood drain from my face. It was Clara laughing with her solicitor, discussing how they'd falsified documents. "He'll fold. He's too soft. And if not, we'll break him financially," she said coldly. The lawyer replied, "We'll leak the abuse claims. True or not, it sticks." My hands shook. I replayed it 4 times. There was more, her mocking Ravi's accident, bragging about how she made a cyclist disappear and the benefits of dating rich. It was monstrous. I immediately contacted a forensic analyst to verify the file. It was real. The metadata was untouched. I transferred it onto a secure USB and gave it to my barrister. We waited. The next court hearing was at the Central Family Court in Holborn. Clara arrived in a white suit, flawless as always, with her high-profile barrister beside her. She looked smug, confident. I looked like hell. The judge, Honorable Veronica Ames, was known for being no-sense. As the proceedings resumed, Clara's lawyer launched into a tearful monologue about her suffering. She even dabbed her eyes. I stared in disbelief. Then my barrister stood up and said, "Your Honor, with permission, we would like to present new audio evidence which directly contradicts the claimant's testimony." The judge nodded. The USB was inserted, and I pressed play. At first, it was just Clara's voice, casual, cruel, laughing. Then the bombshells, lies, bribery, mocking the court, mocking me. Clara's expression shifted from poised to pale. Her lawyer stood up suddenly, stuttering, then excused himself to the hallway. He didn't come back. The judge's pen froze. The courtroom went dead silent. When it ended, Judge Ames looked up slowly and said, "Is this authentic?" My barrister replied, "Yes, independently verified." Clara began to cry.
Got her makeup.
Smeared. The illusion cracked. The judge adjourned for recess. I stepped outside, my legs trembling. A junior clerk approached and whispered that recording, "You've just blown up a major case." Within days, Clara's lawsuit was dropped. But it didn't end there. Her law firm was investigated. Her license to practice PR was revoked. News outlets picked it up. Socialite fakes evidence in courtroom battle. She vanished from public view. Ravi's family reopened the hit-and-run case. As for me, I didn't feel triumphant. I felt hollow. I'd loved her once, trusted her. I spent months in therapy, trying to make sense of it all. One evening, while walking along the Thames, I bumped into Mia. She hugged me tight and said, "You always told the truth, and you proved it." That moment meant more than any verdict. Sometimes justice isn't a hammer, it's a quiet voice, a 6-minute recording, and the courage to press play. Months later, I received a letter. No return address, just a single sentence in Clara's handwriting. "You were always too honest for me." I burned it, never looked back.